you don't know, and if you are from New Jersey, then you know that there is an active strike happening in New Jersey with NJ Transit, right? Oh my God,
We
no.
hate to see it.
No, you
But
really
get the
do.
bag.
No, but you really do hate to see it. So I'm gonna give you guys some brief details on everything that's happening. So the New Jersey Transit engineers went on strike early Friday morning, halting services and impacting around 350,000 daily commuters. The union Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen, also known as BLET, cited low pay as the main issue, claiming its members are the lowest paid engineers among major passenger railroads and haven't received a raise in 6 years. So Governor Phil Murphy and NJ President Chris Calori expressed willingness to resume negotiations immediately, but rejected a deal that might lead to broader cost issues across the unions. They emphasized the financial strain on NJ Transit and the need to protect taxpayers and commuters from higher costs. The strike also disrupted travel plans, including services to the Shakira concerts that are currently happening at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Because I see people trying to say it's New York, it's New Jersey, East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Mind you, Beyonce on the way. We're gonna go see her tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, next week.
Beyonce, I'm coming.
Okay.
Okay,
We're gonna make it regardless because we live
girl,
close. But
I'll drive, no issues.
yeah,
Okay.
no,
Right. So while NJ Transit Rail and bus services is suspended, and actually NJrail transit rail services are suspended, buses are still actively happening.
that's very crucial to emphasize. It's
Yes.
not separate. Train
Yeah.
and buses.
No, they are separate.
No. I'm saying it's just important for like to differentiate because I thought last week it was like NJ Transit as a whole.
Yeah.
And, you know,
The thing is, like, all because of the way that things are set up, every different form of transportation has their own union. So the buses union, so the NJ Transit bus union and NJ Transit buses or whatever like that, they had already came to their own, terms and conditions and stuff like
Thank
that.
you, God.
But with the BLET
railway.
and then NJ Transit, they are still in their contract negotiations. They went to Washington on Monday to sit down with the National Board of like negotiations or whatever their name is. And according to what NJ Transit has said, they said that the talks were like kind of fruitful and they were getting towards a closer happy medium. But obviously that did not happen. After NJ Transit did their, and you know what's crazy? So like Governor Murphy and the Chris Calori, which is the NJ Transit president, they were walking up to the podium and they looked like we saw smiles on their faces. So we were like, oh my God, okay, like the strike isn't happening.
Good news.
Girl, they keep talking. I'm like, okay, like I'm not hearing like congratulations or nothing like that. Come to find out, actually didn't happen. And then BLET had their own press conference right after Governor Murphy and the NJ Transit president. And they basically were like, I just feel like with both parties, they're talking with such conviction to each other and pointing the finger, but it's like, what is the happy medium, right? And so like NJ Transit and Governor Murphy, their main thing is if they get, and they were calling it the Me Too clause or whatever like that. They're saying if they signed off on this Me Too clause that
They better find a different name.
Girl, BLET. Girl, BLET. They said if they sign off on that Me Too clause, it's going to basically impact us and it's going to put they're basically to take all of NJ Transit's budget, right? And BLET is basically saying that we should get paid the same amount as like the people who work, like the people who hold these same type of positions in Long Island and those other places. We should make the same amount of money, if not more. And so like then they're asking for these Me Too clauses, which basically, and I have it here, the definition of that, because that also was a thing that confused me. So the Me Too clause is basically a provision that ensures certain benefits and changes negotiated from one employee group are automatically applied to another, covered by the agreement if the company makes a more favorable adjustment for the first group. Essentially, it's a way to ensure that employees don't get less favor terms than another group covered by the agreement. So basically, like I mentioned earlier, you know how like I said, the buses have their own union and all these other groups have their own union that work with NJ Transit. But since they have these Me Too clauses and stuff like that, if they basically apply that to NJ Transit, not NJ Transit, BLET, and they ask for these adjustments to be made, that could be a higher cost on top of the pay.
So it's like, so they could, if they agree with something, it's like spread across the board.
Yes,
so
it has to
everybody
spread
gets
across the board. So what BLET is saying is that NJ Transit is basically not trying to do a Me Too clause with them, because that would mean that they have to make that adjustment for everybody.
Spend more money.
Exactly. So they're trying to have the BLT is saying that NJ Transit is trying to make them work with a different group to get those Me Too clauses, so that NJ Transit doesn't have to then impact the different contracts that they have with everybody else.
My thing is, and I feel like I mentioned it last week, NJ Transit as a whole, I know this is specific to railway services, but NJ Transit as a whole is extremely vital. I'm going to say to the tri-state area, not only New Jersey. Like, people go to work in New York daily through, thanks to NJ Transit. So at the end of the day, I understand that Governor Phil Murphy is saying that, like, we don't have the budget, we don't have the money, but if we need it, y'all better look for the money, find the money, because I do think that they are essential. Like, it's not like, oh, they're off on weekends. You know what I'm saying? Like, they work every single day, 7 days a week. And especially on weekends, that's when people really be popping in outside, especially now the summertime is coming, these concerts, we're going to go see Beyoncé. And a lot of people are coming from New York to see Beyoncé, and they are going to be using NJ Transit, whether that's the bus or the train. And I feel like a lot of times, not just government, but as a whole, people overlook things because they have worked while getting underpaid for so long that they're like, oh no, well, you need to continue to do so. And people feel now empowered to be like, well, no, this is what we deserve. We know our value. We are crucial to the transportation system here in Jersey, New York, Connecticut, all the things. Right. So run us our coins, run our check. And at the end of the day, I feel like they always find a way. If there's not the money right now, that's a part of your job. Figure it out. No tea, no shade.
Right. But another thing I want to mention, that this marks the first NJ Transit strike in over 40 years. So like, this is like, I know some of y'all who aren't even from Jersey are like, okay, y'all trainmen are on strike. Nah, baby, this is a huge, like, this is the first time in 40 years. 1, 2, there's all these different contingency plans from everyone. And I'm talking about Amtrak, PATH, Port Authority. Well, Port Authority owns PATH, but whatever. So like, you got all these different people creating all these different contingency plans, and a lot of them don't go into effect until Monday. So when the strike was officially started at 12:01 on Friday, there was a lot of contingency plans that weren't even in place yet until Monday, this coming Monday. So this is crazy. And on Sunday, they are going to be meeting with the National Negotiation Board, or whatever like their name is. Again, that's going to be NJ Transit and BLET. So let's see, maybe Monday there might be some official resolution. But my thing is, if y'all have been going through these months and months of contract negotiations and nothing has come to terms, it's like, at this, like, something got to, like,
they're gonna come to an agreement. I just feel like NJ Transit is so, again, I sound like a broken record, but NJ Transit is so crucial to, it kind of is like the brain power of our city. Like, there's, it might be a little cute thing we could maneuver and move stuff around for a good 2 days. We could not keep things moving if it's 2 weeks without
and
the trains. It's just
another problem that is like, and Shayla lives closer to New York, so like the options for like transportation into the city is like way more vast than where I am. And for me, even like when I used to take the train that's next to my house, literally I would have to take the train and then get dropped off at Newark Penn Station and do a switch to another train. Well, transfer to another train and then officially get into the city. And they are basically saying, like, especially, it's called the Raritan Valley Line, and the Raritan Valley Line, there's not that many trains that are on it because like it's just farther out of the way. But it's just like, they're saying you could take a bus. Like, Shayla, how long is a regular bus ride for you to get to where you're at?
if there's no traffic for me to get to New York, it could be like 30 minutes to 40.
And for me, if I was to take the bus from where I live all the way to the city, it would take about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Please. And also there's, like you mentioned, there's not a lot of other options. Like it's either the train or the train. Like you don't have another option, which
And
for
it's
me,
like Uber is ridiculous.
oh yeah, no. If you got an Uber, especially Rebecca, I mean, it's still expensive for me because I'm closer, but the fact that you got to cross a bridge is insane. And now we have the congestion pricing. So if wherever you got to be dropped off is in one of those streets, honey, you going to spend a bag. But that's not on that. We love NJ Transit and we hope that they are able to reach an agreement because we need y'all.